He rode back through the dust that once carried his dreams. Ethan Cole, a man carved by the frontier, hardened by the silence of empty plains and the smoke of gunfire. For 6 long years he hadn't seen the land he called home. The war between settlers and the Apache had swallowed every inch of his life. He'd seen men burn towns, bury friends, and lose themselves to hate. But tonight, as he crossed the dry riverbed under a bleeding sunset, he only wanted peace. The horizon shimmered, and there it was, his ranch. Old fences leaning like tired soldiers, a barn half-eaten by the wind, and that familiar porch where his mother once used to hum lullabies. Everything was still, too still. He dismounted, boots sinking in the dust, and whispered, "Home, at last." He pushed open the door. The wooden floor groaned like it remembered his weight. Everything smelled of forgotten memories, leather, hay, and loneliness. He laid his hat on the table, turned toward the old bed in the corner, and froze. There she was, a woman wrapped in his blanket, sleeping soundly like a child that trusted the world. Her skin held the bronze glow of the desert sun. Her dark hair spilled across the pillow like spilled ink. The faint scars on her wrist spoke of pain, survival, and stories untold. Ethan's hand reached instinctively toward the revolver on his hip. But he couldn't draw it. Something about her calm face stopped him cold. He took a quiet step closer. That's when she woke. Her eyes opened, sharp, wild, defensive. The kind of eyes that had seen blood and betrayal. In a blink, she leapt from the bed, knife flashing in her hand. Ethan raised his palm slowly. "Easy now. I don't mean harm." "Who are you?" she hissed. "I could ask you the same. You're in my house." Her grip tightened. "No one lives here. The man who owned this place died in the war." Ethan chuckled, a sad sound that cracked through the silence. Guess that rumor was only half right. Her eyes widened. "You, Ethan Cole?" He nodded. "That's the name." For a long second, they just stared at each other, two souls from opposite worlds standing at the edge of something neither could name. Soft violin in background. Her name was Naya, an Apache woman. She'd lost her family when the cavalry raided her village 2 years ago. Since then, she'd been running. From soldiers, from hunger, from nightmares. She had stumbled upon the empty ranch weeks ago, found shelter, and never thought the owner would return. Ethan listened, his jaw tight, his heart heavier with each word. He remembered the raids. He remembered the fire. He remembered standing on the other side, rifle in hand, while men shouted about justice and God. But looking at Naya now, justice seemed like a cruel joke. He offered her food. She refused. He offered her water. She hesitated, then drank, eyes never leaving his. In that silence between them, something unspoken began to stir. Not love yet, but understanding. The kind born from shared loneliness. Days passed. She tried to leave. Every time he stopped her. Not with force, but with kindness. He fixed the barn roof she'd been sleeping under. He taught her how to ride one of his horses. She taught him words in Apache, the kind that spoke of wind, fire, and forgiveness. One night, under a blanket of stars, she asked, "Why do you help me?" Ethan looked at the fire, its flames dancing in his eyes. "Because once I helped destroy your world. Maybe this is how I make it right." Her eyes softened. "You cannot fix the past." "Maybe not," he said, "but I can stop it from owning me." Weeks turned into months. The ranch slowly came alive again. Fences mended, fields plowed. Laughter returning to the air like an old song rediscovered. Travelers passed by and whispered stories about the rancher who lived with an Apache woman. Some called him a traitor. Some called her a witch. But to them, it didn't matter anymore. One evening, as the sun melted into the canyon, Ethan stood by the porch watching Naya feed the horses. A breeze lifted her hair, and he realized something he'd never said aloud, that the frontier hadn't broken him. It had led him here, to her. When she turned and smiled, that quiet, gentle smile, he felt something deep in his chest, something he hadn't felt since before the war. Peace. Background sound, slow heartbeat, fading guitar. The world had tried to teach him that people like her and people like him could never share the same road. But the frontier had its own laws. where pain made strangers family, and survival made love inevitable. That night, as they sat on the porch, she whispered, "You are not the same man who left for war." He smiled, "And you're the reason I never want to be." The wind carried their laughter across the plains, two broken souls, finding home in each other.